بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وبعد. I just want to say a few words about why I have found it necessary to establish an association of Islamic psychology. This has a long history. When I was teaching in the 60s in the University of Jordan, I gave my first lecture on the importance of an Islamic orientation of psychology. This created much anger amongst the psychologists who listened to me. They would say psychology is a science, it is a pure science. Once it was established by Wundt, no more, there is no need for bringing Islam and religion and philosophy into psychology. Do we talk about mu'min chemistry and fasiq physics? Do we talk about science of geology, which is not going well with our religious beliefs? Then why talk about psychology, Islamic psychology? This is out of place. It took so many years for people to appreciate the importance of Islamizing psychology. Now, the development of Western psychology itself helped in that, because once the Freudian grip on psychology has been released, and once behaviorism came up with behavior therapy and then cognitive therapy, people started to come back to the mind, come back to beliefs, come back to we cannot help a person unless we change his thought. They came back to the old talk of an ancient Greek philosopher who said it is not the things that causes problems, but the way we understand these things, the way we look at it. I think this has been helpful in a number of ways in the process of Islamization of psychology. Since the 70s, I continued to talk. I wrote a number of books in these fields. The one book which became very popular, The Dilemma of Muslim Psychologists, which was published in London in the 70s. Other books that I have written in Arabic, my work on al-Balkhi, an ancient Muslim scholar who came up with cognitive behavior therapy 12 centuries ago. So all of that now has been helpful. We have in a conference done in the International Islamic University in Malaysia, where I was teaching for almost 20 years, this conference, a number of Muslim psychologists were invited to read papers, and the whole atmosphere began to change, alhamdulillah. Then what culminated after this conference is the development of the association, International Association of Muslim Psychologists, which I was president for more than 10 years. And during this period, a number of works have been done. But these works are mainly based on the Islamization of psychology. The general framework that a Muslim psychologist would take would be a Western one. And then he will try to Islamize here and Islamize there so that it can be useful to Muslim clients. I think that this generalized form of Islamization, it took a few years. I feel now that we are in need of developing a comprehensive view of an Islamic psychology, not only to Islamize bits and pieces, but to take a holistic point of view, to try to develop a paradigm, to try to develop a worldview, the worldview of Islam. How can it be Islamized so that it can be applied to various forms? We don't need to go to Islamize some aspects of psychotherapy, Islamize a little bit of some studies on perception or cognition, some studies on no. Now we would like to have a holistic theory, but by using the word theory, we don't use it in the same sense of what it is used in science today, because a theory can be right or wrong, but it can be good in explaining the principles of what is happening. But now we are to develop a general paradigm, and I feel that to do this, we have to find a place where we can get real good psychologists who have had good, because in order to be able to do this, the person must have knowledge of Islam itself, knowledge of psychology, good knowledge of psychology. He must have the ability to bring the two together. He must be creative in finding the good aspects in Western psychology and embrace it in this general framework. So this would require the work of a group of dedicated psychologists. And I found a very helpful psychologist to carry out this, and we spoke with Professor Skinner, Rashid Skinner, who is a professor of psychology, of clinical psychology in England. He has become a Muslim, together with Dr. Abdullah, who is from an American who converted to Islam. He's a counselor working in the Emirates. We came together, and then we decided to establish an association, international association of Islamic psychology, which is more comprehensive than simply Islamizing psychology. This, we found that maybe the United States would be a good place to start it. There are many Muslim psychologists there. They are creative. They have grown up in the West, and they would be able to actually come up with creative solutions for this issue. This will be international, and we will try to bring together all the Muslim psychologists who have the abilities, who are sincere, who are knowledgeable in Islam, who are knowledgeable in psychology itself, and who are able to bring the two together and bring for us this hoped for worldview of Islamic psychology, or this paradigm of Islamic psychology. This has already become and established. Alhamdulillah, the association has already been established, this international association in the United States, and we hope that we will be able to work from there to the rest of the Islamic world, inshallah. Thank you very much.